Content warning, analysis of abuse and sexual violence. Let's discuss a harmful Hollywood stereotype you might not have thought about, the portrayal of abusers. You know this stereotype. A Hollywood abuser is a dumb drunk wearing a greasy tank top. He's got zero charisma and makes the audience go, "Why wouldn't she leave?" The issue with this stereotypical portrayal is that it makes domestic violence, both physical and psychological, harder to recognize and victim blaming easier. He didn't hit her. It wasn't abuse. He's nice most of the time. He's not abusive. If all the abuse we see on screen is crude physical and sexual violence, we may not recognize what we, or someone we know, is experiencing. Having more nuanced portrayals in media would help abuse be easier to recognize for both the survivor and society. So, where did this stereotype come from? A Streetcar Named Desire was one of the first films to help form this archetype with Marlon Brando's character, Stanley. He wears a filthy top, has a short fuse, and a penchant for liquor and poker. After spending most of the movie being drunk and controlling, he truly explodes when his pregnant wife won't turn down her music during his poker game. He throws her radio out the window, then beats her after she tries to kick his friends out. Another classic example is Joe St. George in Dolores Claiborne, who, like Stanley, wears a stained shirt, gets drunk, and when his wife confronts him for stealing money, she even mentions him blowing it on poker, violence ensues. There's a definite pattern here. The stereotype perpetuates itself. Writers reiterate what they've seen in media, basing characters off of caricatures without taking real people into account. These types of abusers, simple and crude, do exist, and we should be aware of them. So this isn't an argument for eliminating these characters entirely, or shaming the media that's used them, but it only represents a sliver of the nature of abuse in real life. In reality, many abusers are charming and charismatic rather than sloppy and thuggish, at least at first, and often continue to present a likable vibe to outsiders of the relationship.
Relax, Steve. We're friends.
In these cases, Hollywood's stereotypical abuser can make it more difficult for society to believe survivors, as their picture of an abuser may not match with the charming person being accused. There have been, however, some representations of abuse recently that are helping to break down the stereotype. Big Little Lies is an excellent example. In the pilot, we watch the seemingly idyllic relationship between Celeste and her husband Perry. When we first see Perry, he's handsome, charming, and an engaged father. He's both seductive and affectionate with Celeste, and another character describes their relationship as gooey. With his suits and general demeanor, he's a far cry from our stereotype, but he's still an abuser. When he tells Celeste he doesn't want their kids associating with one of their classmates, and Celeste argues, he grabs her and hisses his words in her face.
If I can't be here to look out for them, I need to know that you do.
In episode 2, he apologizes and agrees to counseling. All seems well. But later, he accuses Celeste of excluding him from first day of school festivities. A more violent altercation begins. He apologizes again, and they have rough makeup sex. For the rest of the series, Perry switches between perfect husband and rage-filled abuser, with each incident of abuse growing worse and worse. This type of portrayal shows a different kind of abuser and helps make audiences aware that abusers can seem perfectly charming while hiding a more sinister side. Another example of an abuser who doesn't fit our stereotype is Commander Waterford in The Handmaid's Tale. We don't find Waterford charming at first in the way we do Perry. Our introduction to him is most viscerally through him raping Offred. But he is still more nuanced than the typical portrayal. When he abuses Offred, he often rewards her for compliance. For example, in Season 2, Episode 10, Waterford's wife helps him rape Offred outside of Gilead's usual ceremony to try and induce Offred's labor early. Later in the episode, he arranges for Offred to see her daughter, something that is both forbidden and dangerous, even for Waterford. In his mind, the more extreme the abuse, the more extreme the reward. It's different than, if they apologize at all, our stereotype's kind of apology, like crying, or an "I love you, I'm sorry." Side note, media portrayals of abuse, even the more nuanced ones, are often gratuitous. Do we need to see every moment of a rape scene, every bit of suffering? It's a tricky line to walk, but we need to figure out a balance. Jessica Jones not only breaks the mold of our stereotypical abuser, it also avoids gratuitous abuse scenes. David Tennant's character, Kilgrave, is put together, intelligent, even funny.
I want to cry. Oh, Mommy does have a point. Trish has been a little cray-cray lately.
But he's traumatized Jessica to the point that she has PTSD, a drinking problem, and a myriad of nightmares and flashbacks. We see in Season 1, Episode 5, how he comes off at first. He lavishes Jessica with gifts, clothes, luxury hotel rooms. But these gifts don't fit her personality, so he uses mind control to make her accept them gracefully. He also has sex with her while using mind control, and the show responsibly and very clearly states that this is rape, but avoids gratuitousness by not showing the rape itself. Also, the show depicts the long-term effects of rape on Jessica, which is something Hollywood doesn't often do. The addition of superpowers in Jessica Jones is definitely a different take on abuse and rape, but still reflects the complexities of real-life dynamics, which helps expand our concepts of abuse. Another weakness of having an overly dramatized archetype is that it really doesn't show emotional abuse without the physical element. In our stereotypical cases, physical and sexual types overshadow the psychological kind, but this overshadowing happens even in Big Little Lies, The Handmaid's Tale, and Jessica Jones. This is not a suggestion to eliminate the physical aspects of abuse in these and other shows, but it would be beneficial to represent abuse that is, quote-unquote, just psychological too. Representation of emotional abuse would help answer the question, if he's not hitting me, is he abusing me? And the answer can absolutely be yes. Emotional abuse can have devastating effects. According to Hotline, it can contribute to depression, anxiety, chronic pain, insomnia, hopelessness, and more. Audiences need to see and internalize this. Season 3, Episode 18 of Criminal Minds shows an extreme case of the damage emotional abuse can cause. A wife kills her husband. Her motive was his abuse, but the detectives can't find evidence of the physical type. This speaks to why many survivors don't report. Authority figures may be dismissive when there are no black eyes to investigate. This episode, the detectives do listen long enough to investigate further.
Well, I was doing such a terrible job at home, I didn't want to embarrass my kids out in public, too.
And it's revealed that the husband criticized everything she did, belittled her accomplishments, made her believe she was worthless, convinced her children of the same, and isolated her. This damaged her so much over the years that she finally shot and killed him. Even though the abuse wasn't physical, it was proved harmful enough to reduce her sentence. This episode demonstrates that psychological abuse can be just as harmful as the physical kind, which is important for audiences to understand. In reality, most cases of abuse are nuanced. Relationships are complex. Apologies can make even toxic situations seem worth it. In many cases, the survivor is chasing the good times and just coping with the bad. The phrases, when it's good, it's great, when it's bad, it's awful, or we fight a lot, but it's just passion, may ring a bell when you hear about these types of relationships in real life. While there's a place for stereotypical abuse in media, we need to portray other, more nuanced types to spread awareness about all the kinds that exist in our society. If you want to learn more about domestic violence or need assistance with your own situation, hotline.org/resources has a list of ways to help. Another great site is loveisrespect.org. Finally, the National Domestic Violence Hotline is 1-800-799-7233.